Welcome, everyone. Today we have the pleasure to have Frank Montrose, the King of the South, with us today. So thank you, Frank, for joining us. He's got over 37 years of experience in real estate. He's #1 real estate broker in the Chicagoland area. So it's a pleasure to have you. Frank, thank you very much for joining today.
Sure, my pleasure.
So Frank is going to talk about the hot markets, what to do in this pandemic. He knows the areas like the back of his hand. So thank you, Frank, and the floor is yours.
Okay, great. Hi. I'm usually my wife. I'm kind of stuck between two crossroads. My wife says I don't talk enough, and usually when I get on these things, the host always say I talk too much. So I'm gonna try to get somewhere in between that. And Hugo, what I wanted to talk to you about today is where to find the inventory, because the biggest challenge for people today is inventory, is finding the deals. And we're in a very, very hot market. It seems like everything we rehab when we throw up on the market, if it's priced right, we have 5 offers. I don't know why it's 5. We always end up getting 5 offers, sometimes 4. So there's plenty of buyers out there, and it's obviously a seller's market. And so consequently, values are going up, and in some areas they're going up at an alarming rate. The undervalued areas are going up, and what's kind of nice is seeing appraisers and banks loosening up their grip on the south side. So what's happened in the past is a lot of the bigger banks have redlined the south side, and so what they did is how they would do that is they would be ultra conservative with their appraisals. They would instruct their appraisers to come in below value, and they would also, their underwriters would adjust it in-house. They would adjust, even if appraiser came in what they thought was at market value or too high, they would adjust them. So it's kind of nice to see that the banks are starting to let the market determine value. So we've had a lot of success pushing values up and creating new price points in areas, and that's great for investors, especially people that want to get in or are on the south side, because as everybody knows, the cost of inventory has gone up because there's so many players in the game. There's not a lot on the MLS. So if you go on the MLS, you're more than likely your odds of getting something there are pretty slim. I mean, they're still there. You still have to make offers. We still do make offers, and we still get stuff off the MLS. It's just not as anything that's like super hot. There'll be 40, 50 offers on those properties on the MLS from investors. So it is difficult, but the MLS is good for if like emerging areas or fringes of good areas that that a lot of people shy away from. We're picking up a lot of stuff there. So that's one tip for the day. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna, in the past, like I've told Hugo, in the past I've rambled on and covered everything from A to Z. So what I'm gonna cover today is we're gonna just talk about where do we find inventory now? I mean, you think about it, the courts are closed, so you have a hard time with foreclosures. All the guys that I know in the industry said the market is going to be like this for probably about another year, and then then the courts, as they slowly open up and they start playing catch up. I mean, keep in mind, it's going to get silly sooner than later, because there's so many excuse me, there's so many pent up foreclosures And the filings now are depending on the area, depending on the village, the county. They're in the Chicagoland area. The foreclosure filings are up 3 to 4 times what they normally are. So we're gonna eat good. It's just a question mark when we're gonna eat so good. So right now you have to think outside the box, guys, and you have to go into places that you haven't gone before. There's definitely inventory out there, and there's definitely ways to get them. And the thing, I do have Hugo. Just a quick update too. You said I had 37 years. I have actually over 38 years. So little update for everybody. But I've been in the game for a long time. I've seen a lot of market shifts, and I've made a lot of relationships, and the relationships really are paying off now. And so, getting down to the nitty gritty, what everybody's here for. They want, come on, Frank, skip all the rigmarole. Let's get down to business, right? So, yes, there are still deals on the MLS. You may, to find them, you may have to go into areas that you're not comfortable with. And that's where you hire someone like myself, who can guide you and tell you, hey, this is a good investment or this is not a good investment. And the crazy thing is, especially in the city of Chicago, you can go block by block, and you could be on the same block and have the same house, but totally different situations, just based on what it's near. If it's near a railroad track, if it's near multi-unit buildings, if it's near similar style houses, that all affects, before you even get in the house, the exterior, what's surrounding the house can substantially affect the value. So make sure that you hire yourself a professional like moi, if you need one, and I'll be more than happy to help you. But yeah, MLSs, the MLS, you need to start looking at if it's an act. Sorry, I was on. Yeah, I'm on my cell phone, so I'm gonna get a call. I gotta put on text. Yeah, so MLS. Getting back to that. So you got to examine different areas. You got to expand your buying base. Number 2 is we go through the MLS. We're looking at canceled, expired. I mean, we go back to 2013. We look at expireds, canceled, and old closed. Because when you look at it, especially if somebody has a property since 2013 and they haven't done anything with it, they probably need to dump it. So you get that address. You can, if you want me to, help you research it and get a hold of the seller, I'd be more than happy to help you out with that. We have ways of finding out who they are, and so we are very successful at chasing vacant properties. That's another thing. So once you get out you got the MLS, right? You got active, you've got expired, you've got old closed up to 2013. You've got canceled listings, anything like that are fair game. And the older, the better. And prices are gone up now. So somebody may have been asking $50,000 for a house back in 2013. It's probably worth, could be worth twice that amount of money now. So, when you approach somebody now and say, hey, I can give you $100,000 for it, they're like, wait, what? Those are some inventive ways. Takes a lot more work, guys. That's the thing now. A lot of people are just used to, looking on the MLS, and it's not simple anymore. You have to do a lot more legwork. So we focus on that. Another thing you guys can do, real simple pro tip, guys, is your vendors need to be talking with your vendors and tell them, hey, I need inventory. I deal with Gary Davidson as my go-to attorney, and he gets a lot of he closes 1,500 transactions a year. 1,500. You don't think that guy knows some people have properties? Of course he does. So my vendors, attorneys, insurance, title companies, they're feeding me on a regular basis because they know that I buy. Now you got to get out there and you got to let people know that you're in the game. I tell you what's really hot right now, Hugo, too, is tax certs are hitting the market right now. Now the tax certs are up. Now obviously the courts are closed and it's going to take a while. So if you're comfortable buying a tax cert and sitting on it, then you're for a little bit. Then we're buying them, and we've had a lot of success with tax certs. That's another thing, and I can provide that for you guys too. So if you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me. My cell number, and I'll give it again at the end, is 708-307-0777. But see, this game, what's interesting is it's real estate's fun, but it's like the stock market. There's all these moving parts. Maybe one week the MLS gets a blitz of properties. Maybe, and then it's quiet for a while. Maybe another week the auctions, get some properties. So you have to be looking at everything on a daily basis. And I have a team, and that's what we do. This is where I'm putting my plug in for you, Hugo, is Chicago Deal Vault. If you're not a member of it, you need to join. It is the most affordable, the most comprehensive website out there for the Chicagoland area for on-market and off-market properties, including pre-foreclosures, including cash, people out there looking to invest. I mean, it's got everything. It's crazy. When you compare it to some other websites, it's like it's on steroids. So when you take a website like that and you've got the pre-foreclosures and Hugo skip traces those pre-foreclosures, you click on and talk directly to the people. You can search properties. When we search the properties down there, we search for at least 50% equity. And, hey, it's not going to be simple either. So it's not like the MLS where they're ready to sell. A lot of these people are not ready to sell. So it takes a lot of work to get involved. That's why if you don't have the time, you've got a regular full-time job, and you hire someone like me, we go chase them down for you, and we secure them. We help you with if you need financing, we can work on that. I'll help expose you to all the sources. I've got resources for inspectors, for workers, if you need contractors, whatever you need. I've been in it for 38 years. So, if you hire me, that's, you come with the full package. The probably the biggest thing that I bring to the table, Hugo, now that we finished up on your amazing website, Chicago Deal Vault, and if you're a member of that and you're not utilizing it, then you're making a huge mistake. You're not, because there's so much business on there, including the off-market stuff. If you're paying for that, you need to start looking and start utilizing it. It's kind of like a gym membership. How many people buy a gym membership and they don't use it? It's kind of the same thing here. I've got a feeling a lot of people buy the program and they don't utilize it. So you start utilizing it, and you'll be able to find a lot of good deals there. Hey, you know what the best thing I've got going for me is years and years and years of doing business, having the brand out there. People know that. I got roped into be called the king of the South Side because of the volume that I do. But we buy in this. We're all over the place. I help investors buy in the suburbs. I help investors buy up on the north side, north suburbs, west. I was talking to a guy yesterday about buying in Bellwood, investing in Bellwood. So, I work with investors in the entire Chicagoland area, and we've also spilled over to Northwest Indiana, which is also a very lucrative area. It's also very, very competitive. So you have to be doing You have to be looking at all the opportunities on a daily basis if you want to do high volume. The cool thing is I've got a lot of relationships with a lot of bird dogs. I get phone calls, emails, text every day for inventory every day. And I mean, I probably know over, I don't know the exact number, but it's over 100 people that I'm interacting with all the time. That they're, all they do is chase inventory. I don't know how they get them. I don't know how they get all the inventory they get, but I know how some guys do. I mean, they use all types of marketing from the signs to the postcards to knocking on doors to chasing free foreclosures. There's a ton of ways to get inventory, and and you could start with the Chicago Deal Vault. That's the easiest thing. If you're a member there, you can start there. If not, you can hire me to utilize all these resources because we hit the pre-foreclosures every day. So we're looking at them and picking them up, door knocking, and I mean, it takes work. Now, another easy way is to get on Facebook and start checking, search Chicago real estate, Chicago property, Chicago inventory, Chicago foreclosure. Start researching buzzwords and start joining the groups on Facebook. And when you do that, you'll see a post every once in a while. It's not every day, but it posts every once in a while in of a good wholesale property. And of course, you got to move on these quickly. So that's the other pro tip, guys. If you have a full-time job, it's so hot, market's so high right now, you can't afford not to hire someone like myself because I've got a team on the field every day. I've got 5 people on the field. We can look at a property within the hour and tell you whether it's a good deal or not. You may say, hey, Frank, okay, today's Monday. I can't look at it till the weekend, or I can't look at it till Wednesday night. Too late. So that's the other pro tip, guys, is speed wins in this game. Unless it's on the MLS, and certain banks require a sit time of anywhere from a week to 3 weeks. So that's a different story. Then you can take your sweet time, and then you can go in. But then you're fighting with a ton of people that don't know what they're doing, and they're going to bid the thing up to infinity, and you're not going to be able to buy the property. So a lot of times those ones that sit on the market for a long time get investors involved that don't know what they're doing, that have cash, that get bad information from realtors that don't know what they're doing, that give them the wrong information, that don't know how to invest, that meanwhile they're not doing it on purpose, they just don't know what they're doing. So you have a lot of that in play right now. So the anything that sits on the market is bad news. Vacant properties, man, when you're driving around and you're through the neighborhoods and you see a vacant house, jot the address down. I can research it for you. I can help you. I mean, we can get the information. We can get the seller's name, their new address, their phone numbers. We can get it all. We can contact them. You can't always, you don't always know for sure if you get it, but we've had pretty good success rates on these vacant houses. Another cool thing that we're getting now is we're approaching a lot of owners that have rentals, and they want to, especially when in the city, they want to bail, man. So they're like, I'm getting out of here, man. I'm afraid, I don't know what's going on, and so we're getting a lot of owners that are just they're selling them occupied, or the second they move out, their tenants move out, then they sell them unoccupied. Now I will say this: what's looking really good now, like my buddy Jericott, he does a lot of Section 8s. And so everybody back then was like, oh, no, Section 8 bad, blah, 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 this type of tenant. But, there's a lot of good people in Section 8. So it's got a bad rap. And guess what? He looks like a hero now because he's collected the majority of rent. Excuse me. He's collecting about 95%. He's got over 100 doors now. So most of his people are paying and are able to pay. They're, I don't want to say that it's recession proof. It's perfect, but it's pretty darn close because you're getting that check from the government, and the ones that can't make up the difference right now is really only about 5% for Jared. So, and that's with over 100 doors. So that's pretty cool. So, if you know anybody that has a lot of rentals, you may want to approach them now and ask them if they're in the market for selling. Um, so if we go back, just to review, courts are closed, probably open up after the elections. You know how we do in Chicago. Expect the market to be flooded, depending on when they reopen the courts. But anywhere from 9 to 12 months, it's going to be insane for inventory. So you have to survive until then. So just a quick review of everything I covered today. I'm going to keep this thing short, guys. I just want to hit it up with a lot of content here. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Number one, more importantly, is finding bird dogs. And now you have to be an agent. So now start asking agents like myself for inventory. And there's a lot. The other thing for bird dogs, hang out at meetups. So groups like Hugo's and Andrew Homes and stuff like that. There are going to be a lot of agents out there that are bird dogs. So you got to look for bird dogs. You're looking at pre-foreclosures. You find that easily through ChicagoDealVault. And the nice thing is Hugo's made it seamless where you can just you can search by the amount of equity you're looking for, and then he also does a true people search, and you got all that information there. You can contact the owner and strike out a deal, or have me do the work for you. Be more than happy to help you out as well. We're still getting auction properties, and I'm getting properties direct. We're doing now too. Is we're getting a lot of properties directly through the banks, and so the banks. I guess they're I hate to say they're cutting out the middleman, but they're selling directly to a lot of my investors, and they're selling them occupied. So if you're willing to take that risk, and they have some of these banks have some that are unoccupied as well too. So the occupied ones, you're going to take the risk of having to wait till the courts open up. But if we deal, like I said, we deal a lot directly with a lot of banks, and I didn't have to do that before, but now I'm doing that because the MLS is dry right now for the most part. Facebook pages, again, just make sure you hit all the Facebook business pages, you hit all the Facebook real estate business pages, the Facebook Chicagoland, search those words and start joining these Facebook business groups, and then monitor them on a daily basis. Again, vacant properties. If you see a vacant property, jot the address down. You can either research it yourself, or if you don't have the time, I'll be more than happy. Owners that have rentals, you have friends that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30 rentals. Approach them and ask them if you can take some off your hands. A lot of the owners with rentals, especially the tax sales, the certs are hotter than hot right now, and you can pick them up for a decent price. You will have to wait until to get the filings done and the deed done. Again, the vendors, whoever you deal with needs to be it needs to be a two-way street. You can't these attorneys just can't take. They got to give. They got to throw some love out. So I demand that all your vendors be looking out for you and start throwing you inventory when they hear about it, because trust me, they do. And last but not least, the MLS is still great. You look for old closed deals that have not been rehabbed or rented out. You look for expireds and canceled, and go back to 2013. because you'd be surprised at how many properties are sitting around there. So, you drive by a vacant property, and if I research it, it surprises me. An investor owns it, and they've owned it for 4 or 5 years. So there is a lot of inventory still out there. You just have to work 10 times harder to get it. So again, I'll be more than happy. If you want to call me, reach out, text me, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to work for you. My number is 708-307-0777. That's 708-307-0777. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our tour. Please make sure you tip the doorman on the way out. Hugo, Hugo, thank you for having me. I'm open to questions, comments, whatever y'all have.
You serve all over
Did I lose
Chicago,
you, Hugo?
all this, all the suburbs of Chicagoland, or certain specific region?
I think Hugo's working on getting his earpiece on or his volume up.
Frank,
Yes, I think I hear some.
how many properties do you have? Do you have any rentals?
Hello?
Do you have any rental properties?
Rentals? Yeah. I can barely hear you. I don't know if you can turn your volume up anymore. I don't think it's my.
Do you hear me now?
Not really. I don't know if it could be my phone. You know
No,
what? Text me your information.
I just wanted to know if you.
But yeah, we do have rentals as well too.
I just wanted to know if you have rental properties yourself.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Okay, Hugo, are you there?
Frank,
I don't know why my volume is not.
Frank,
Yes. Something's
my
wrong with my
name
volume.
my name is Michelle, and I drive by a
Hugo,
lot of
yeah, I got a problem with my volume. Um, hmm. I have no idea what's going on. I
We can
can't.
hear
I
you
heard
very
you
well.
earlier, Hugo. I had you. I had you earlier. Now I can barely hear you.
Oh, okay. So I can hear you well, Frank. We can hear you very well.
What's that?
Oh, we can hear you very well.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we hear you and see you very well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. If you have any questions, call me or text me 708-307-0777. Thanks for having me, Hugo. You guys have a great Sunday. What's left of it?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Gary. Frank. By the way, we also have Gary on the line. Are there any questions for either one of them? Gary, thank you for joining today. And do you have any words to share with the audience, Gary?
Hey Hugo, it's Gary. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. Thank you for joining.
Okay. Oh, no problem. So everyone just recognize that Frank has a team of about 10 or 12 attorney or 10 or 12 real estate agents, maybe a little bit more than that. He'll put you with the person who is a best fit for you, whether it's flipping, whether it's wholesaling, whether it's a rental property, in what specific area. Frank, obviously, I'm the number one attorney in the Chicagoland area for investors. Frank is one of the best sources for real estate. All of my clients use him as a reference. So, folks, reach out to Frank, take advantage of it. Hugo has very special relationships And it's not every day that you're going to have somebody like Frank Montrow come on. So take advantage of that and give Frank a call at 708-307-0777. And I'll be talking to you guys in a few weeks on how to avoid mechanic lien claims and disputes with contractors. So thanks so much, Hugo.
Thank you, Gary. So in fact, I have it up on the screen, avoiding contractors, disputes, and mechanics liens. This is a new topic. Make sure that you RSVP. We send the link. It's on Wednesday, September 2nd at 6:30. Super important. Make sure that you all join this event. We also have a boot camp coming up at the end of the month, and this is going to be a live event. So make sure that you RSVP. This is going to be our second live event. So please join us. And then for those of you who don't have access to Chicago Deal Vault, we created a special promotion for you. The promo code is going to be Frank. You're going to get it for free for the next 30 days. And for the package, all you need to select is, so the promo code right here is Frank. It's a special Chicago Deal Vault. Special Chicago Deal Vault. I just put it on the screen. You're going to get it for free for the next 30 days, unlimited one-on-one training with our professional trainers, Phil and Lovely. You can schedule as many one-on-one trainings. So please make sure that you have access to it. People were asking, where do you find all these off-market deals? So we have them all in Chicago Deal Vault, as Frank was mentioning earlier. So you're going to be able to search the MLS in Chicago Deal Vault as if you were a broker. And also you are going to be able to find probates, pre-foreclosures, upcoming auctions, bank-owned properties, vacant properties. We're working on tax sales. I know someone asked about tax sales, so we're working on the tax sales to add them. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that you can get all the data and start finding great deals. So please make sure that if you still don't have access, just get it for free for the next 30 days and RSVP for the next upcoming events.